My fault. All I said was it might be fun to go out and hit the Black Friday sales. I thought it would be a good way to distract her from her mother's patented brand of guilt trip leavened with broken promises. I hadn't realized that going shopping on Black Friday, Thursday still according to my watch for the next minute, was akin to throwing myself on a grenade. I'd still have done it. I loved Jessie, and the diversion was starting to work. But it might have been nice to know how bad it was going to be. We drove slowly behind a host of cars also looking for parking places, eventually drifting right by the front of the store where the shoppers lurked, hunched, and ready to attack the sales. Inside the store, a young man in the sadly appropriate red Target shirt walked very slowly to the locked door that was all that protected him from the horde. "He's gonna die," Jessie sounded a little worried. The crowd started undulating like a Chinese New Year dragon as he reached up slowly to turn the key. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes, I agreed, as the boy, mission completed, turned to run back into the store, the crowd of salivating shoppers hot on his trail. "I'm not going in there," I stated firmly, as an old woman elbowed another old woman who had tried to slip in through the doors ahead of her. "We could always go to the mall," Jessie said after a moment. "The mall?" I raised my eyebrows at her incredulously. "You want to go to the mall?" There are a herd of strip malls in the Tri-Cities as well as a factory outlet mall, but when one speaks of the mall, they mean the big one in Kennewick, the one that everyone shopping on Black Friday was planning to hit first. Jessie laughed. "Seriously though, Mercy, 5-quart kitchen mixers are on sale, $100 off. Daryl's broke when my friends and I made brownies with it. With babysitting money, I have just enough to replace it for Christmas if I can find it for $100 off. If we get the mixer, I'm okay with calling this experiment finished." She gave me a rueful look. "I really am okay, Mercy. I know my mother. I was expecting her to cancel. Anyway, it'll be more fun spending Christmas with Dad and you." "Well, if that's the case," I said, "why don't I give you $100 and we can skip the mall?" She shook her head. "Nope. I know you haven't been part of this family long, so you don't know all the rules. When you break someone else's toy, you have to pay for it yourself. To the mall." I sighed loudly and pulled out of the frying pan of the Target parking lot and headed toward the fire of the Columbia Center Mall. Into the breach, then, against mobs of middle-aged moms and frightening harridans, we shall prevail. She nodded sharply, raising an invisible sword. "And damned be she who cries, 'Hold, enough!'" "Misquote Shakespeare in front of Samuel, I dare you," I told her, and she laughed. I was new at being a stepmother. It was like walking a tightrope sometimes, a greased tightrope. As much as Jessie and I liked each other, we'd had our moments. Hearing her laugh with genuine cheer made me optimistic about our chances. The car in front of me stopped suddenly, and I locked up the rabbit's brakes. The rabbit was a relic from my teenage years, long past, that I kept running because I loved it, and because I was a mechanic, and keeping an old cheap car like the rabbit running was the best form of advertisement. The brakes worked just fine, and she stopped with room to spare. About 4 inches of room. "I'm not the first person to misuse Macbeth," Jessie said, sounding a bit breathless. But then she didn't know I'd just redone the brakes last week when I had some time. I blew out air between my teeth to make a chiding sound as we waited for some cowardly driver a few cars ahead to take the left turn onto the interstate. "The Scottish play. It's the Scottish play. You should know better. There are some things you never name out loud, like Macbeth, the IRS, and Voldemort. Not if you want to make it to the mall tonight." "Oh," she said, smirking at me. "I only think about that when I'm looking into a mirror and not saying Candyman or Bloody Mary." "Does your father know what kind of movies you watch?" I asked. "My father bought me Psycho for my 13th birthday. I noticed you didn't ask me who the Candyman was. What kind of movies are you watching, Mercy?" Her voice was a little smug, so I stuck my tongue out at her. I'm a mature stepmom like that. Traffic near the Kennewick Mall actually wasn't too bad. All the lanes were bumper to bumper, but the speed was pretty normal. I knew from experience that once the silly season